Okay, so here is a new unit starting today, and it is on exponents. And we just want to start off with some negatives being raised to an exponent. But before we do that, we're just going to review. So you guys remember what exponents are. In this particular problem, this is saying 7 times 7 times 7. And you can certainly use your calculator to do that and do on the Casio. It is 7, and then there's like a caret key that looks like this. On the Casio, that is kind of between the 8 and the 9, above, up 3. And so you could do 7 to the 3rd power on your calculator like that, and it will write it to like 7 to the 3rd power, or you can just do 7 times 7 times 7, I guess. And when you do that, oh my gosh, I just made a big mistake here. When you do that, you get 343. And 2 to the 5th, of course, just means you're multiplying 2 5 times. Again, you can use that little caret key on the Casio, 2 to the 5th, and that would just be 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, times 2 is 32. Now, when I have parentheses around this negative, it does mean I'm going to multiply -2 times -2 times -2. Again, if you put that in your Casio or on your other calculator, you need to put the -2 in parentheses. -2 times -2 times -2 is -8. A negative times a negative is a positive, and then a positive times a negative is a negative. Here, this means -11 times -11, and that is positive 121. So when we have a negative times a negative, we get a positive. And then here, again, you can certainly use your calculator and make sure you put parentheses around the number, and it is -64. Now, when I do -3 times -3, I get 9. And when I did -3 times -3, I get another 9, and 9 times 9 is 81. Or use your calculator, and a negative 4 times in a row will make a positive. When you have a fraction like this, you're just going to multiply the numerators and you're going to multiply the denominators. Negative times a negative is a positive. Negative times a negative is a positive. Positive times a positive is a positive. This will be 16 over 81. And then I love 1. When you have 1 or -1 raised to a power, 1 raised to any power is 1. I don't know why I wrote that. -1 raised to any power is going to either be +1 or -1. And in this case, we have 7 of them. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is going to be 1, 1, 1, 1 times 1 times 1 is 1, times -1 is -1. All right, I hope you noticed that anytime we raised it to an even, when we raised a negative to an even power, the answer was positive. Okay, so that would be this one, and this one, and this one. Whenever the negative was raised to a positive exponent, it was, whenever a negative was raised to an even exponent, it was positive. Whenever it was raised to an odd number, like here, here, and here, the overall answer is negative. Interesting.